So as most of you know, a couple of months ago I bought another boat, and what was once downright grumpy had a full pirate makeover. In just a few whirlwind weeks, the legends at New Concept Boats stripped it back to bare metal and gave it a brand new paint job. Then the wonderful sign writer Charlotte swooped in with her brushes and bestowed upon her a name worthy of the high seas. Then the Jolly Roger was launched and her maiden voyage christened with pirates, gunfire and mermaids. I then had high hopes for a huge summer adventure to explore this glorious river and head down to the Manchester Ship Canal and rejoin the main canal network. Just after the Jolly Roger passed inspection and received her seaworthy certificate, I booked my passage to Ellesmere Port, only for it to be cancelled days later as a leak had drained the canal between Ellesmere Port and Chester, and that was my only escape route off this river since the Anderton boat lift had been closed for months. With my voyage scuppered, I did what any good pirate would do and headed to a big river party instead. And that's when things got really messy. I ended up mooring next to a thick, greasy outlet spewing gunk right beside my boat. Could things get any crappier? Well, this week I bring you an update on the mysterious oily spillage, what's become of the Rum Wench, and my quest to finally sort the never-ending Wi-Fi woes of life aboard a narrowboat. Good morning. The Jolly Roger's just moored down there on the river, and today was the day I was meant to be going from Marsh Lock here on the River Weaver down the Ship Canal and to Ellesmere Port. But because there's been a stoppage at Chester, I can't do that now, and the boat lift's shut that way, so yeah, I'm in a bit of a quandary. I'm stuck here at Northwich, but you know what? Part of me is glad because the weather today is quite dark and gloomy and quite windy, and it has given out 80% chance of rain, so maybe that's for the best. But I am making the best of my time here in Northwich. I'm getting loads of things organised for my summer adventure, and one of those things is sorting out my Wi-Fi. And hopefully if the weather does improve later, then we're going to go for a little bit of a cruise, because that's one good thing about being trapped here on this river is we've got loads of water and there's still about 20 miles that are navigable. So, you know, it's not all bad, is it? So I've just come to this lovely little park here that I keep coming to bring Bonnie for a walk, and I've just met this resident. We've just been chatting about that problem with that leaky stuff in the water.
Yeah, about March this year, a gentleman was walking and I was feeding the ducks and the swans like I do, and he said to me, "Oh, excuse me, but have you seen all that awful gunk?" I've reported it. And so I found the article in the Northwich Guardian for you, so there's a hotline number. And then on Sunday, I also noticed after the torrential rain, there was this awful orangey, gooey, foamy, gross, just floating, and I thought, it's back again. So United Utilities said it wasn't their responsibility, but they're looking into it.
Okay, so apparently it's we think it's a United Utilities problem.
But we'll also call that hotline number as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For the
I'll put the
environmental
hotline number on here, so if you are on the River Weaver and you do notice that, then please do report it, because this is our beautiful river. Think of all the nature. You know,
all the lovely ducks and the swans and the little ducklings that are there, you know, and that cormorant that we saw that flew.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and also it's not nice.
Not nice.
You know, because I mean, people love walking up and down here with their dogs and my cat, and to have that just kind of floating, you do wonder, what is it?
Good morning. Today I'm back at the good old Rum Wench, and I'm going to be taking her for her last cruise. So I did try to sell this boat myself. I did put it on Apollo Dock and I had 2 offers made, but due to things like unable to get finance and house sales falling through, you know, it was just too complicated for me to do on my own. And I had to keep coming back to organise all the viewings, so I just thought it was a lot easier if I took it to an expert to deal with all that. And the good thing as well about if you take it to a broker is they organise all the viewings and everything, but also they have options for people to get finance and protections in place if house sales fall through. Plus as well, people feel much safer paying a broker because the money's secure than they do just somebody else. So I'm taking it to Narrowboats Limited, and then I can leave it there. They're going to take care of everything, all the questions that people ask, all the emails that I've been trying to deal with whilst working full-time, cruising another boat and all sorts. And then I can carry on with my own adventures on the Jolly Roger. So part of me is really sad. This is going to be the last cruise on board the Rum Wench. This has been a wonderful boat and a very reliable boat. That engine, that heartbeat, oh, it's just been wonderful. It's took me all over, from the North Oxford, from all around Birmingham, all the way up the Leeds Liverpool, the Huddersfield Narrow, Hebden Bridge, Todmorden, the Rochdale, the Mersey. It's took me all over, but it's time now to give it to someone else to have their own new adventures. Goodbye, old girl. And thank you for everything. So it's proper miserable outside there today, but I'm going to introduce you now to Dave, and he's from a company called WiFi Onboard, and hopefully today is going to help me to improve the Wi-Fi and internet on board this boat.
I've come down to see Heidi today because she's contacted me and she's got lots of problems uploading her videos to YouTube and our other work activities. So we specialise in providing business grade solutions for people living on narrowboats. We've been doing this for 12 years now, so there's not much we don't know or haven't seen in over the years.
So he's going to whip some of his stuff out now, and we're going to try it and experiment with how it works with my little router.
Okay, so Heidi's got a Netgear 5G router. What is it?
It's an M3, that is.
M3. I don't really know much about the router. It has got two aerial sockets on the bottom here, which these are TS9 sockets. So we will use an adapter that go from TS9 to SMA. So all of our aerials come with SMA connectors. So if you change your router in the future, you can still use the aerial on another router.
So he's brought two nice big black
Aerials. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's the main differences between these two?
So both these aerials will work on 4G and 5G and 3G if it's still available. The main difference is this aerial would be what I would probably say for your low usage kind of user. It's a low profile aerial. All the aerials have a magnetic base with about 25 kilograms of pull. So if you do hit something, it will just knock it over. On the bigger aerial here, this obviously is about twice the gain. The big reason here, we pushed the aerial up higher to overcome any deck clutter. So on Heidi's boat we've got mushroom ventilators, a couple of dog boxes, chimney, continuous handrail. So the smaller aerial would be affected by stuff around it. This aerial here, we put the aerial higher up to overcome the deck clutter, and then it's got twice the gain of the aerial. So typically we would see this will give us a faster speed on the internet. It's not always guaranteed, but with the bigger aerial, the router will be able to see more network elements, so it might find that there is a base station further away that has a higher data capability than maybe this one or the aerials built into the router. The biggest thing we're trying to overcome, particularly in the summer months, is leaf clutter around the boat, and obviously buildings and other boats around us.
And the good thing as well about this one, that is if you hit a low bridge or a tree or out, it just sort of bends down. Yeah. It's pretty cool, that, isn't it?
And, yeah. We do them in black and white, but for this boat it looks perfect in black.
We need a nice big black one, don't we? These all look fantastic, but what we need to see is the proof in the pudding. So what we're going to do now is do a little bit of a speed test. So see what my little Netgear was like already, just having it in a porthole, and then adding the smaller aerial and then the big aerial, and we'll see if there's much of a difference.
We're in the inside now, and often what we find is people will put their routers in a window and it may work fine, and probably think here we're in the middle of Northwich, so it's probably going to work pretty okay here, but once we're out on the cut, when we're in a deep cutting or whatever, it probably won't perform as well. Now we're in the middle of town, so the 5G is very strong, so it may be in this window it'll work fine, but if we move it to the other side of the boat it won't work as well. And we're going to look at the download speed, which is crucial for streaming, but for Heidi the upload speed is the key issue.
So we're going to do our speed test today on an app by Ookla. You can just download it or you can do it online. And we're first going to try the router on its own.
Whilst the download speed at 100 is fantastic, it's the upload speed at 14 meg which will be the issue. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try it with the small aerial and then with the larger aerial and seeing what the difference in performance is on the upload speed.
So download's more for watching Netflix and that, but the upload is where I load all my badge designs for companies and also uploading my YouTube videos. So just now on the router itself, without any aerials, it was 14 upload. So Dave's going to see now, Wi-Fi Dave, see if he can improve it. So we've moved the router now to this corner here, so it's not going to be picking up anything from the window. It's in a dark corner surrounded by objects, but obviously it doesn't matter because we're using the external aerial.
So we've done the first test with the small aerial. The upload speed, as you can see now, has gone from 14 to nearly 33 meg. So that would halve the upload time for any files.
Brilliant. Let's see it. Let's try the big one.
Big one. So I've just fitted the larger aerial on and we're getting a download speed of 96 meg, but the upload speed has gone from 32 to 43 meg. So again, it's knocked another 30% off of the upload time. So we've gone from 14 meg to nearly 43 meg upload speed, which is phenomenal. Pretty good. Now, obviously that is here in the middle of town, but once you're up at Anderson Boat Lift, that will be the real test of the proof of the pudding, as they say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to go on the boat there. I'll leave you to do it.
So that's a massive difference from 14 up to 42.7, I think it was. So 43. Massive difference. Yep, so now we need to look at how much these things are going to cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
okay.
for me, it's like my work, so it's something I desperately need.
Okay. So the big aerial on its own is £295. So that is a 4-way Mimo with the magnetic mount and the swivel mount. The smaller aerial was a 2-way Mimo, and that's £175 on its own. Now we supply routers as well. So if you're going to be working on the boat and you want to do Teams, Zoom, uploading videos, whatever, then I would always go with a 5G router, because even if you haven't got 5G where you are, the 4G capability of the router will be probably like twice the speed of something compared with like a Huawei B535.
So this is a brilliant solution for those working from the boat, you know, moving about all the time. And the good thing as well is that I can take it in my camper van, because you know I often go away at winter in the camper van, and it's much cheaper than Starlink, because Starlink you're paying, I think it's 95 a month.
Yeah, 95 a month for the roam, yeah.
Yeah, whereas I can just stay on my cheap EE SIM deal, but have the oomph and the gadgetry to make it better. So good afternoon, it's another gloomy day today, and as most of you know, there's a big stoppage at Chester which stops me going down the Manchester Ship Canal and getting back onto the main canal network. So what I'm going to do, because I'm feeling positive, is I'm going to slowly, taking my time, start heading towards the Manchester Ship Canal, and I'm hoping that by the time I get near the other end of the River Weaver, then that route will be open. But we'll see. You can only hope, can't you? First though, we're going to turn this boat round, head to the facilities, and then find a lovely mooring for tonight. And that bit there is where all that stuff's been leaking from. And it was so nice to talk to some of the residents that they had complained about it previously. You know, you've got to think of the wildlife and stuff, haven't you? See you later! So the Elson Point and Water Point are just past this bridge. The problem is, because I'm on a river, the bank and the level varies. This is why I love being on rivers, because not only are they wide and beautiful, but every day is a bit of a challenge, like never knowing what height the bank's going to be to step on and off. And also here, there's a bit of an obstacle I've got to navigate round. As you can see, this bank is quite high, and I split my difference trying to get up here. Yeah, nearly ripped my knickers open. Anyway, I've took the kayak down, so that's in here at the moment. But I'm hoping that my hose fits, because the water point is right up there and the front of my boat's here. So let's see, I might have to go and turn the boat round. Oh yeah, and you can see as well, this was the wheel. It was at the back. And look at that, it's thick with just grease. Now imagine that in a swan's wing or something. So some people said last week it was probably sewage. It wasn't. It's just definitely a thick grease, which could be worse because it's very dangerous for anything fluffy and feathered like ducklings. And I'm just doing my part to show you the real side of boat life, warts, grease and all. But now for the glamorous part of boat life. So there we go, we're all full of water now. I've emptied my toilets, I tried my best on that wheel, still very greasy and the rope's minging. But what I'll do is get a big bucket and get it soaking in some nice soapy water, because they're about 40 quid them wheels. So yeah, do that. Anyway, before it rains, let's get ourselves a nice little mooring somewhere where Bonnie can have lots of lovely walks. Such a shame, because this mooring here at Northwich is always really busy, but there's just no boats about, you know, and people are quite envious that I'm stuck on here, and I am really lucky, but there's no one around. So I mean, obviously I've got my friends and family, but normally this time of year now I'm having barbecues on the towpath with fellow boaters, sharing a rum, you know. And oh, there's no one about. And what'll happen is all this sort of pennywort that you can see here now, this will all start to grow, because the problem is if we don't use it, we lose it. But obviously no one can get on here. So the wonderful thing about the River Weaver is every single lock is manned, so you don't have to like get covered in lockjaws, climb ladders, get all slimy. You know, it's just so easy to cruise. So beautiful, even on a muggy, dull day like today. You know what as well, I feel a massive weight has lifted off my shoulders having the Rum Wench now at Narrowboats Limited. It was a bit of a bind having to keep getting Ubers or lifts to go and move the Rum Wench about, because obviously I still have to adhere to all the rules of moving every week or so. And I chose Narrowboats Limited because they've got really good reputation on the brokerage. They've got quite a lot of boats there for sale at the moment. And Narrowboats Limited itself, as well as having the brokerage, they also do sandblasting. So you could have your hulls sandblasted, you can have all sorts done. So I do feel that the Rum Wench is in some safe hands, and hopefully she'll sell soon. Because I've got massive loan at the moment. Well, most adults do, don't they? I may be getting older, but I can be immature forever. Cheers. Can't wait to get to Anderton as well to try out my internet, because I always struggle for internet there, especially on the river, because you've got all the trees above you and then the old ICI opposite. But it does make sense, you know, improving things by not just having it in the window, by having it outside, you know. And the good thing about having that big one is it avoids all the roof clutter, like he said, because lots of the ones I was looking at on Amazon were very low profile ones, and I didn't really understand it all, to be honest. So it was so nice of Dave to come out, because he was nearby anyway, and for us to have a bit of an experiment. So it started spitting, so this will do for today now. But it's so beautiful here, loads of lovely walks. You can walk all around Anderton, and it links on as well to Marbury Park, which is massive. So Bonnie's gonna love this. It's nice to see a few boats as well. I'm gonna reverse into this slot. Don't like using my bow thruster. Keep forgetting about it and forget to turn it on. Useless, aren't I? Plus, if you push your front, your back goes out. And I have to get on and off your back. So I've just moored up here now on these floating pontoons. These raise and lower with the river levels. They're really good. They go on their big poles there. And Bonnie hates walking on them though. She hates these pontoons. She definitely won't wee on them. So we're going to go in there now, just have a quick wee. And then once the rain stops, we'll probably go on a nice big walk. But this will do for now. So I've connected up my external aerial and just done a speed test in this location. Now, for those that know, boaters especially, Anderton is terrible internet. And using that external aerial, I've managed to get a download speed. So I've got to hide this advert here. So I've managed to get a download speed of 32.8 and an upload speed of 13. Now, that might sound nothing to most people, saying, oh, that's a bit crap. But for here, that's fantastic. So I'm made up with that. That's enough for me to watch a bit of Netflix and also to FaceTime my mum and upload some badge orders. So that's really, really good. So I still need to sort out my wiring issue here. I've got wires dangling everywhere. But the good thing about being able to keep that there now is I've got a 12-volt socket there. So that means I'm not using mains. And the aerial can go out through that hole in the thing. Just need to sort it all out, tidy it up. But, you know, it's just a job for another day, innit? Because now we're going to have ourselves a little rum. So we're going to be having some of this. I have had this before. This is a Barty Spice. So it's rum and Pembrokeshire seaweed. Woohoo! I love a bit of seaweed. Especially when it's wrapped round a mermaid. And whilst I am pouring this, a huge thank you to this week's pirate crew. Thank you for everything you do. So cheers everyone, just a little tit of rum. Woohoo! I've earned this week. That is absolutely gorgeous. And it doesn't need a mixer. It's got I don't know what to say, aniseed. It's got a weird aftertaste, but it's really moreish. So, internet problems. I'm hoping now with Dave coming and testing everything through, this will solve loads of my issues. I really struggle for internet loads of times. Sometimes I'm walking down the towpath with my phone and I did have a really good chat to him and he said sometimes you're just going to be though in a complete black spot. This is the thing about being on the canals. We're in ditches, you know, there's trees above us. But one thing is definitely for certain, it has improved what I already had. So it might not be Starlink, it might not be home broadband, but there is a significant difference. So I'm really happy about that. As far as the leakage in the canal, that really oily, greasy leakage, I've reported that to the environmental agency and they phoned me back. They contacted me and they've asked me to send them the video and the footage, which I've done. So I've done everything I can on that. I won't be mooring in that spot again, you know, especially where that outlet is. However, if anybody does see anything going in, please do report it, you know, only if you see it, obviously, because we've got to protect our rivers, haven't we? And the canals at the moment are shot. There's so many stoppages. And I'm really gutted because when this boat was launched, it's my dream boat and I was so happy to get on all my adventures this year. I was just ecstatic, and now I'm flopping a little bit because, you know, I'm meant to be cruising with me mates and they've all set off and I'll catch them up. Well, I'm hoping to catch them up. It's just, I'm trapped. But I'm lucky because I'm trapped in a beautiful location and there's other boaters around the network that are trapped and they have got nowhere to go. They're just stuck and some of them are still leaning. They've got no water. So as much as I'm frustrated and a little bit disappointed, I'm in a much better position to lots of other boaters. However, the rain is coming. We've had some awful rain. It's a bit nippy today. I've got my nipple warmer on. So maybe the weather's on the change and things will improve. But for the stoppage that I've got to navigate, it's not about low water levels. Well, it is, but there's actually a leak in the canal. So it doesn't matter how much it's going to rain at the moment. Until they fix that leak, that's it. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video here. If you have enjoyed it, please do give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. And before I go, just a massive thank you to my lovely, gorgeous patrons. So that's it. Please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next week.